Hello, this is my 2005 Yamaha FJR1300. So as you can see, it's in excellent shape for something that gets used for touring. No real scratches on the bike at all. The saddlebags, unfortunately, because they don't really get used much and they get knocked around the garage, do have a couple little scratches right here. They're really hard to see unless you get really up close, but you can see right here and right here. It's a little tiny paint nick there. Unfortunately, because they stick out from the bike when you do use them, road debris does hit them, which is why these leading edges usually have scratches and little nicks. Unfortunately, nothing you can do about those, but the actual bike itself is in excellent condition. This was from the previous owner. I don't know if you can really see, going through a construction site when he was going on a trip, and the car or truck in front of him kicked up some stones and got all right here. Again, it doesn't affect it at all, but something to be aware of. Just a couple of scratches up here, but again, because they stick out, and because, like I said, I never really ride with them on unless I'm actually going on a little weekend trip. So they sit in the garage, or actually my storage unit, which is where the bike also goes, in here. So that can sometimes, cause them to get a little bit scratched too. But like I mentioned, everything else is beautiful. The paint is excellent on this bike. Has a nice touring windshield, a little bit taller by about an inch than the factory one. So when you're on those really long trips, you can actually get the air to kind of shoot over you, so less wind noise, less buffering on your chest, and less drag on your back. So mirrors, very good shape. So see if you can see that there. It's got 15,445 miles. I actually rode it for a few hours yesterday, put about 200 miles on it myself. One other thing I wanted to mention is the bike is basically 100% stock. There are some aftermarket things though, but nothing really engine related, except for I did swap out the exhaust, mainly because the old one was getting pretty beat up from age. It was getting some rust on it, and this is much lighter. As you'll see when I start the bike, it's no louder than the stock exhaust. You can make it louder if you want by removing these baffles. There's actually, you take this cover off, there's a bolt right up top and slides the baffles out of each one. But this is the Leo Vance exhaust. This is actually real carbon fiber. Excellent quality exhaust. Very happy with it. Since we are down here, actually, I'll mention these tires were put on when I got the bike last year. They probably have about 2,000 miles on them. As you can see, they're still in excellent shape. Same with the front. The front one, again, about the same. Should have, actually exact same, because I got them at the same time. 2,000 miles on the front. So still plenty of life left in those. So saddlebags. One thing everyone on the forums has mentioned is that these fall off. Basically, that's impossible, unless there's human error involved. So I'll show you why in a second. But again, that's the Leo Vance exhaust. Excellent exhaust. So here, we'll just slide these back in. So they just go in the front here, and then you just kind of pop them up. So now the reason these things can't come off is when this handle's down, it's locked in. So the only way these come off is if you accidentally leave the handle up a little bit, lock it, and the handle's not actually locked down. So what I always do, make sure they're locked, turn the key, pull up on it. Doesn't come up, it's never coming off. All right, so let's start her up. Now this bike has not been started today. It did run it yesterday, so this is how it starts up when cold. Just like that. So, as you can see, the exhaust is really no louder than the stock one. I mean, I guess if you don't know what a stock one sounds like, you have no point of reference, but that's basically it. Keep the registration. Oh, I was looking for that. Keep the registration in here. This actually locks when the bike's off, which is great, so you never have to worry about anyone getting in there. A couple of the other aftermarket things on this guy, you know what, I'll let let it warm up so you can see that it doesn't overheat or anything. Aftermarket heated grips. This is the controller for it. They get very warm. I've ridden this bike in 40-degree weather without like any type of heating gear, just, you know, my jacket right there, which is also for sale. The heated grips and the heated Corbin seat, which got the on-off switch right here for, plenty warm. This thing, I mean, I accidentally turned this thing on in the summer and I thought the bike was on fire. It was getting so hot, I was afraid. So luckily it was just that was on. But yeah, so heated grips, excellent. I do have the Corbin storage unit back here, which I keep, you know, just all the toolkit. I keep a lock for the front brake for when I am like stopping at like a restaurant with friends or something. And the air pump. The air pump I'm gonna keep, but everything else in here, besides the air pump and the gloves, whoever buys it gets, you know. You can also have the cargo net, which I used back here to put a tent when I went camping a couple times. So yeah. You can see everything, you know, works well. I did change the oil at 14,000 miles, which was the beginning of the season. Like I said, I really haven't ridden it all that much this year, which is actually why I'm selling it. You know, where I used to live, I had a garage up the house, and when I moved down here at the shore, I don't have a garage anymore, so I got the storage unit, which is great for protecting the bike because I don't like it outside. But it makes it tough to have to drive here to ride it, so I don't ride it nearly as much. I used to ride to work and everything, and I don't do any of that anymore. So it just doesn't seem, it seems like a waste. And believe me, I've gone on many trips contemplating doing this, so it's an excellent motorcycle, you know. Revs right up. It's like it's basically in like new condition. The previous owner, who was the original owner, kept excellent shape of it. You know, I've kept excellent shape of it too. All the maintenance is up to date. Oil change. It's got new air filters. The brakes were bled at the beginning of the season because I didn't know how old they were, so I just did all of them. I just did the rear arm service, the 15,000 mile swing arm service. So that's all been repacked. So you're good there. So you really, you know, I'd probably change the oil again in like around the 7,000 mile. 17,000, 18,000 mile mark. It does have full synthetic oil in it, so it can go a little more than 3,000 miles if you want. I'm kind of nuts with that stuff. I always just change it either at the beginning of the season or when I hit 3,000 miles, depending on how much riding I do. So yeah, we'll shut this back off. You can see the temps are nice. It's nice and idled out. Temps are good. So doesn't over. I mean, the thing's awesome. Awesome motorcycle. So just shut that back off. Hopefully you were able to hear me while it was running. So yeah, oh, and by the way, I do have the original seat. It's in excellent, like, new condition. Basically, if you want to have a passenger, you just put the key in over here, pop this off. There's two little bolts that hold this down, which is actually where the rear seat pegs on the top there go in. You take this off, put the passenger seat on, put the main rider seat on, and you can go back to stock. It's that simple. There's a little connector for the heater with this. One other thing I'd like to mention is it does have a lithium-ion battery in it. I put that in the beginning of the season, mainly so that with it in the storage unit, I don't have to worry about the battery draining if I'm only riding it once a month, because I have no way to put a tender on it in here. So, but it's been excellent. The battery, highly recommend lithium-ion batteries, as long as you're not going to be charging it or really riding it below, really far below freezing, which I would never do. Anyway, that's my 2015 or 2005. Wow, 2015, 2005 Yamaha FJR1300. If you are interested, I'm looking to try to get $3,500 for this guy. Obviously, prices are always negotiable, so let me know. If you do live in the Jersey Shore area and want to give it a test ride, you can. The only request I have, considering it's a more powerful bike, is that you do have cash with you, just in case. I don't expect anything to happen, but you never know. It's just more of an insurance policy. But I have no problem riding it for you if you want. If you just want to come see it, just let me know. You know, obviously, you know, no low balls, no, you know, BS stuff. The normal things. So, anyway, I will have in the description a link to the Facebook Marketplace post for the bike. That's probably the best way to contact me. I will check comments and stuff on this actual video, but my primary focus will be Facebook Marketplace. All right, thank you.